What if the tightness in your chest and the air hunger you feel aren't coming from weak lungs at all, but from a breathing pattern that's quietly working against you?
Welcome to Dr. Mercola's Cellular Wisdom. Stay informed with quick, easy-to-listen summaries of our latest articles, perfect for when you're on the go. No reading required. Subscribe for free at mercola.com for the latest health insights.
Hello, and welcome to Dr. Mercola's Cellular Wisdom. You're about to learn how smoking and common lung conditions raise your risk for dysfunctional breathing, and what you can do today to start correcting it. I'm Ethan Foster, and I'll guide the discussion so you can connect the research to your daily habits.
I'm Alara Sky. We're focusing on dysfunctional breathing, or irregular breathing patterns that cause symptoms like chest tightness, dizziness, palpitations, and breathlessness, even when you're not exerting yourself. Many people never get a clear diagnosis because standard tests often miss it, yet the symptoms affect your energy, mood, and stamina.
A large study from Japan used the Nijmegen questionnaire to screen more than 29,000 adults and found that roughly 11% showed signs of dysfunctional breathing. That means more than 1 in 10 people may be living with avoidable symptoms. The strongest risk signals appeared in those with a history of asthma, COPD, bronchitis, or pneumonia.
Current smoking stood out as a major driver. People who smoked had significantly higher rates of dysfunctional breathing than those who never smoked or had quit, and smoking stacked risk on top of any existing respiratory illness. The analysis made clear that smoking plus lung disease dramatically raises the likelihood that your breathing pattern will become inefficient and symptomatic.
The study also linked dysfunctional breathing to conditions outside the lungs, including epilepsy and prior stroke. That suggests the issue isn't confined to your airways. It touches the nervous system and recovery pathways. The research team called for greater awareness in primary care so these patterns aren't missed or misdiagnosed.
A separate narrative review helps explain the mechanisms. Under stress, you tend to shift from relaxed, diaphragmatic breathing to shallow chest breathing. When that becomes your default, you overuse accessory muscles in your neck, shoulders, and chest. The result is tension, fatigue, and a cycle where stress worsens breathing and poor breathing feeds stress.
This pattern also affects your cardiovascular system. Smooth, controlled breathing supports healthy respiratory sinus arrhythmia and higher heart rate variability, markers of good autonomic balance. With dysfunctional breathing, erratic or rapid breathing disrupts that synchrony. Reduced heart rate variability is linked to worse outcomes across chronic conditions, which is why these patterns matter beyond comfort.
Hyperventilation is a central culprit. Breathing too quickly or too deeply pushes down carbon dioxide levels, constricting blood vessels and reducing blood flow to your brain. You feel dizzy, foggy, or lightheaded, and you may start avoiding activity. Over time, you can spend more energy just to breathe, even at rest, which drains stamina and confidence.
Smoking amplifies the problem. It diminishes immune function, increases oxidative stress through reactive oxygen species, and drives long-term biological changes that promote chronic disease. Add the breathing inefficiency we're discussing, and you get a compounding burden that leaves you feeling breathless, tense, and depleted even when tests look normal.
If you recognize these symptoms, a clear starting point is to stop the inputs that keep the pattern alive. Quitting smoking is the first and most important move. Tobacco inflames your airways and reinforces shallow chest breathing. The moment you stop, your system can begin to recalibrate, and your breathing muscles can regain efficiency over the following weeks.
Next, rebuild your natural pattern by retraining your diaphragm. Lie on your back, place one hand on your belly and one on your chest, and breathe in through your nose so only the hand on your belly rises. Practice for 5 minutes a day. This helps shift you into a calmer state, slows your rate, and reduces unnecessary muscular effort.
Release the overworked muscles that have been compensating. Gentle daily stretches, chin to chest for your neck, doorway stretches for your chest, and shoulder rolls can reduce fatigue and allow the diaphragm to take over again. You're not trying to force deep breaths. You're taking tension off the system so breathing can normalize.
Address breath holding and overbreathing. Many people hold their breath during concentration or breathe too fast under pressure. Use a simple box breathing pattern. Inhale for 4 counts, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4. This helps restore a balanced carbon dioxide level and teaches your nervous system that you're not in an emergency.
Track your triggers and your progress. Keep a daily log of when symptoms appear, what you were doing, and how stressed or tired you felt. Also note any smoking or vaping exposure if that applies to you. Patterns will emerge quickly, and they give you a measurable way to see improvements as you retrain your breath.
The medical implications are practical. If you're a current or former smoker and you've had asthma, bronchitis, pneumonia, or COPD, your risk for dysfunctional breathing is higher. Recognize chest tightness, air hunger, dizziness, and fatigue as potential signs of the pattern, not just random bad days, and move directly into the steps we've outlined.
Remember that these symptoms often persist because they fall between categories. Not quite a lung test abnormality, not purely anxiety, and not obviously structural. But you can address them with targeted changes. Quit smoking, re-engage your diaphragm, reduce accessory muscle tension, stabilize your rhythm, and measure what changes.
As your breathing becomes steadier, you'll notice fewer dizzy spells, less neck and chest fatigue, and a calmer baseline during daily tasks. That's the early payoff. With consistency, you reclaim energy that used to be spent on inefficient ventilation, and the stress loop begins to unwind.
Here's your challenge for today. If you smoke, make the decision to stop and take one concrete step before bedtime. Dispose of cigarettes, cancel a delivery, or tell a friend you're done. Then complete 5 minutes of diaphragmatic breathing, perform the 3 stretches we described, and practice 4 rounds of box breathing. Log how you feel before and after. Repeat tomorrow.
Thank you for watching Dr. Mercola's Cellular Wisdom. We'll see you on the next episode.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe now and click the notification bell so you never miss an update. See you in the next video.